Hello, welcome to Mama Birds. This is going to be my intro to all of you YouTube friends, possibly followers to come. Welcome to my kitchen. I am Robin, I am Mama Bird, and this is something I've wanted to do for years and haven't had the time to do it. I've been working full-time, I'm a mom, we just bought our first home, we just moved across the province, which is a big deal. We're from Canada. We live in the Cariboo region of British Columbia, and I'm busy and I don't have time to sit in front of a camera, but I do now because we are starting today and we're just gonna give her. These videos are not going to be 10 out of 10 videos. I am not doing any fancy editing. I'm sorry if you love background music, that's not what I'm here for. And I am going to get the information that I want to share with the world out there in a dirty, raw form. So if you're down for that, stick around. I am all about doing stuff efficiently. I want to share life hacks that I've learned that nobody shared with me. Tips and tricks and hacks about being a mom, things about food, because I'm all about food, feeding bellies, preserving food, storing food, shopping for food, making food. It's all about the food in my house, so that is going to be a huge part of this channel. I am really hopeful that one day I will be in a position to be able to grow and harvest my own food in my own garden, but we're not there yet, so we're doing what we can. We love shopping bulk. We love shopping at the farmer's market, getting local product when we can, and just doing our best. We're just all doing our best here, people. And so, yeah, getting started today. Welcome to the intro. I am super excited about this. Like I said, it's been a 3-year project. On year three years, I've been trying to get my stuff together to put this together for everybody, but it just hasn't happened. And I recently lost my job due to no fault of my own. And so now I have some time to really kick this off, and I really am excited about it, and I hope you are too. So stick around for some extra fun stuff. Why not make something during the intro? So I've got some snacks that I'm going to prepare for my kiddo that are homemade and using ingredients that I buy in bulk on a regular basis. So I'm going to share this recipe with everybody in the intro. And my next video, I'm hoping to have out 1 video a week. Don't hold me to it, but I'm gonna try. And so in my next video, I'm gonna share with you some fun stuff that we did a little while ago. And that is purchasing for the very first time a half a cow from a local ranch here in the interior. Or well, I guess we're technically in the northern Cariboo region. So if you're familiar with British Columbia, we're almost the geographical center of the province. So it's amazing. I have absolutely loved the quality of the meat that we've been getting. We have been eating through some of it, so I will definitely try and share some of those recipes. It's a little difficult for me to film cooking because I have a little one and a life. So I'm still trying to wrap my head around the scheduling and all of that stuff that I'm going to try and do to share with you guys all of this stuff. But yeah, I'm super happy with the quality of the meat that we got. I will definitely share the pricing that I paid in Canadian dollars, because I'm sure there are tons of people out there that are looking for the actual cost breakdown. And I'm also going to compare, I'm also going to share comparable pricing in my area. So I wrote down all of the pricing on all of the items that I got or as close as I could. A lot of stores in our area, I mean, we're a relatively large city, so we should have access to, you know, grass-fed, grass-finished beef, but unfortunately we do not. And to find this type of a quality and compare it in pricing was really difficult. So I did my best, and I'll share that in the next video. So stick around for that. And yeah, we'll get started on these snacks. These are, I use a peanut butter base Powerball for snacks, and there's all kinds of options you can make, and I'll leave the base recipe in the description box so you can make your own recipe at home, and they're super easy, and I will show you how I do it. All right, we're gonna get started. So I use a stand mixer for this recipe. You absolutely do not need this, but I find it easier on me to just use the stand mixer and then clean it up after. You can absolutely just use a spoon, stir it up, use your hands. That also works, and I've definitely done that before, but this is just for convenience for me. Here's my recipe. I'll leave it, like I said, in the description box, and you can copy it down as you like. And yeah, we're just gonna get started with this. So to my mixer, I am going to add all of the dry ingredients first, just because I find if I put any of the wet ingredients, they just get stuck on the bowl, and then I am constantly scraping down the bowl. So starting with the dry ingredients. Okay, here we go. All of the dry ingredients are here in front of us. So I'm gonna start with 1 cup of oats. I use steel cut oats. You can use rolled oats if you wish. I would encourage to use a little bit more liquid, so honey or peanut butter if you're gonna use whole rolled oats. But steel cut oats do really well for me. They're kind of already broken down like into smaller chunks, as you can see. So, I mean, it's up to you what kind of oats you use, but that's what I do. To that, we're going to add 3 tablespoons of seeds. I'm going to use chia seeds and pumpkin seeds. So for the chia seeds, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons. And for the pumpkin seeds, I'm probably going to actually add 2 or 3 tablespoons of the pumpkin seeds. But the recipe calls for 3 tablespoons in total, so add what you want, and make your best judgment. You do you, right? So in goes the chia seeds. Next, I'm going to add a teaspoon of cinnamon and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And so hack number 1 on Mama Bird's channel is I always use a smaller measuring spoon than what my recipe calls for. So right now I am needing to measure 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. I always use a half because the next increment of the ingredient is typically half or even a 1/4 of what this is. So I always use a smaller one so that I can use the proper size for the next one, because it's no big deal to add 2 of these versus 1 of these. I don't know if that makes sense, but I always use a smaller utensil, and then I'll add 2 to equal 1 teaspoon. So 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. And then we're gonna do a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I just kind of eyeball this, and I'm using half of a half. So that is 1/4 of salt. And to my bowl, I'm going to now add the wet ingredients, but I'm going to kind of make a well in the bowl so the wet ingredients does not touch the outside of the bowl until my actual mixer is in the ingredients. So I'm gonna add half a cup of nut butter of choice. So today I'm using peanut butter, and 1/3 of a cup of honey. Cracking into a fresh container of peanut butter. And for this measurement, we're getting half cup. So I'm also going to eyeball this. That's all right. Maybe a little bit more. And into the middle of that well we go. And 1/3 cup of honey. So another thing that I always do with this recipe is I always use honey that has crystallized. You absolutely can use liquid honey. That is absolutely okay, and it will not change the outcome of your the recipe that I've listed below. The solidified honey, or the, like, you know, this will. So you have to add a little bit more liquid, but I always use it in this because I'm mixing it up anyway. It's not like I need it to be, you know, beautiful and wonderful honey. So this is a perfect way for me to use up that honey that I don't want in things like baking or pastries, or things where I kind of need an exact measurement of honey for. This is just a good way for me to use up that crystallized honey that, you know, otherwise people don't particularly like to use in their specific recipes. So that's another trick that I always do. I actually think I might need a titch more, so I'm just gonna grab another scoop of honey, and then we are gonna mix this a lot. So honey is actually something that we do buy in bulk, and I need to go refill my container. So I'm going to use this beautiful honey. I don't typically use this type of a quality honey in these Powerballs just because this is expensive, and was actually a gift from somebody. It's blueberry blossom honey, and it is from the interior of BC, and it was a gift, and it is beautiful, and I love it in my tea, so I use it sparingly, but just for the purpose of this, I am going to put another scoop into our Power Bowls. Oh my gosh, it just smells so good. So we're gonna throw this in and then mix it up. Gosh, would help if I plugged it in, right? See, friends, we're learning. We're learning how to make YouTube videos together. Here we go. Okay, so I am just gonna quickly show this to you. You can kind of see it is relatively sticky. I think it's because of that extra bit of honey that I put in. But you can see it kind of, it doesn't quite hold its shape. It is pretty close. It's almost like doughy. It is crumbly, but this is definitely too wet. So I am probably gonna add another half a cup or so of oats to this so that it is a titch more crumbly, because we want it to be kind of like a peanut butter cookie before you roll it. So I'm going to get another half a cup of oats in here, and then we're gonna mix it again, and then we're gonna roll them up. So 1 cup measure, probably gonna do about half a cup. Okay, so that was real time, and you can see how it's kind of separated. It's still kind of clumping together, and that is exactly what we want. We don't want to see any sort of oats or anything like that in the bottom of the bowl that are like super loose. Yes, there will be some, but this is almost perfect texture. You see it. Okay, so I was just cleaning up and putting away all of my ingredients before I showed you how I roll them out, and I realized I forgot the protein powder. So welcome to YouTube, everybody. We will add a scoop of This is whey chocolate protein powder. Absolutely, it's optional. You do not have to use it, but I do. And here we go. So the thing about this now is that I added the extra oats because it was too loose or too wet. And now this is gonna dry it out. So it's super crumbly now. So I'm going to maybe I'll add a little bit of vanilla. How about that? This is another thing that I'm excited to start. It's vanilla. I reuse the Great Value bottle just because it's a nice big size and it's convenient. I'd like to get one of those glass ones, but that's not in my life right now. Okay, that's a little better. Let's roll these out. Okay, so we're gonna roll these out into balls, and I'm going to put them into a container. These will live in our fridge, but they technically are shelf like counter safe for, I would say, 2 or 3 days. You could probably get away with that. We just keep them in the fridge because I actually like the texture of them better when they're cold. So that is my go-to. And so we're gonna roll these out. So really just get in there with your hands and grab a handful. This is probably maybe 2 tablespoons. This is a tablespoon. So half would be 1 tablespoon. And they're actually coming together really nicely. So here's the Powerball. I was gonna put pumpkin seeds because they did dry out after I added the protein powder, I'm just not gonna do it this time. So we'll leave those out for now, but you can add all kinds of things to these balls. You can add, obviously pumpkin seeds. We've added dried fruit before. You can add coconut flakes, or obviously pumpkin seeds we add all the time. Dried cranberries are great. If you're a coffee person, you could do like some instant coffee. I probably would be careful with the amount I put in, just because, I mean, coffee can get pretty powerful. But you can absolutely do like a s'mores flavor with a little bit of like breadcrumbs or graham crackers and some marshmallows. Mini chocolate chips is a super favorite of our house. There's so many different kinds that you can make, and yeah, they come together so easily. So I love doing this, and this cost me a fraction of what I would pay at the store for, you know, prepackaged snacks. And so for the, you know, if I'm just doing this on my own, like whipping a batch up, it probably takes me, oh gosh, maybe like 5 minutes to get everything in the bowl blended and like settled. I'm you know, forming these balls in real time. So, I mean, where's the timestamp? I don't know how to work that, but it takes no time at all. It really doesn't. My kiddo is napping right now, and that's why I chose to start this today, because I had about an hour of time, maybe 2 hours of time to really, you know, get some footage going. And yeah, Powerballs is a big part of our life, so why not? Here we go. It's gonna be super fun. I'm super excited about this whole channel. I am super excited to really get started, and I really hope that, you know, people can gain something from my videos, because I've been floundering as a mom for like, my kiddo is gonna be 2 in a month, and I've been floundering the whole time, and I have, you know, tried to figure things out on my own, and along the way, like, I've used YouTube as a resource, obviously. I mean, it's 2025 here, and it's just so important for me to be able to share the things that I've learned along the way, because even if it's just one mom that needed a hand and needed some help with something and it could get something out of my videos, like that's worth it for me. So yeah, I really hope if you're that mom that needed a snack, a homemade snack for your kiddos, and this is a winner for you guys, like amazing, let me know, because that would just be amazing. And yeah, so all of them are pretty much rolled up. I'm just kind of scooping up the last bits here. This mixture was actually a lot wetter than I thought it was going to be, but here we are. I'd say there's probably maybe a dozen in there. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna wash my hands and show you the Powerballs in the bowl, and yeah, close this out. But thanks so much for watching my intro, and hopefully you'll stick around for more videos to come. Don't forget, I am going to share the pricing on the whole cow, or I'm sorry, half cow, half a beef, whatever you want to call it, that I purchased, and with pricing, and it's super awesome, and I'm super excited to share that with you. So hopefully we'll see you next time, and until then.